Well, I'm talking about the Cowboys. Are they ever going to get past this curse? What do you think? How many more years?
I think they're a flawed football operation. Too beholden to their own picks, too insular, not enough exterior voices, not willing to hire a coach that pushes back on Jerry. I just think they're a flawed business operation. It's like the Lakers. They rely on, Kobe's agent runs the franchise, former players in the building. Big brand, but kind of flawed operationally. I'm a big believer in hiring outside voices for a business to test you and challenge you and question you, and Dallas doesn't do that.
You got to. It gives you new perspective.
You have to bring in people outside the building. I think the downfall of the Patriots late is Bill going back again and hiring people, Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, and I think you need fresh eyes.
We had Jed Fish. What are you talking about? Jed Fish, head coach of Washington.
Yeah, you need perspective, new perspective, outsiders.
What do you remember about this era of Cowboys?
The emergence of Romo. I mean, I grew up with Staubach, Danny White, Troy Aikman. They bounce around, and then they find their Romo. And it was, it's pretty rare that a big brand like the Cowboys get an undrafted quarterback.
Yeah.
Usually a team like the Cowboys is such a big brand that you would have the quarterback ready to go, or you just go buy one, right? Like for the Cowboys, that'd be like the Yankees' best player being like a 40th round shortstop. Like, you're the Yankees, you figure they'll just go buy a cleanup hitter.
100%.
So the Romos are real for their brand. I mean, most of their best players have been like free agents or first rounders or Micah and CD. And all of a sudden it's like, that O-line for years, that was all first-round picks, Tyron Smith. Tony's undrafted? That's something like the Jaguars would get, or the Panthers, right? But it's to be the America's quarterback of note, and you played at a tiny school most people can't find on a map. It's pretty remarkable. Tony had a good career.
He did. He had a very good – he was exciting. I remember when he came in, he was just – he was a jolt of energy for them. He was making those athletic plays where he was ducking down. Guys would over tackle him. He'd pop his head up and find a guy down the field. I just always remember he was kind of a shorter guy, but he used his athleticism in the pocket, and he had like a flair with him where he was really good outside the pocket, and he was good at making a play within the play by manipulating defensive guys in the pocket, stepping up, sliding, and then finding the second play.
I always feel Joe Burrow is a more disciplined Tony Romo. They were the same number. They look alike. They play alike. Joe's just a little more, not mechanical, a little more efficient. Tony's a little more instinct, go with the gut. But there's a lot of similarities. Tony's, Joe's great.
Yeah.
Tony on his best days was a highlight film.
He was really good. Wasn't it weird kind of seeing Parcells as the head coach? Did you think that was weird?
Well,
I remember this whole thing happened.
Only 2 Cowboy coaches have worked, 3 in my lifetime. Landry, Jimmy, and Parcells. The latter 2 had Jerry as the owner. The ironic part is Jimmy and Parcells are exactly what the Cowboys need as a coach, and Jerry didn't like it. Yeah. They need a strong-willed, defiant architect that knows the game, that pushes back on Jerry. Jerry tends to hire people that need him. Jason Garrett, in his first job. McCarthy was out of work. Chan Gailey. Jerry tends to hire people that need him.
Yeah.
Parcells and Jimmy didn't. 2 best coaches they've ever had, and I just don't think Jerry likes you. The Cowboys usually have the highest percentage of players on their roster that they drafted.
Yeah.
And there is something about the Cowboys sometimes come off as like a family business, like the local general store in a very corporate league. But I always feel like Parcells and Jimmy, that's what they should have. And Jerry just can't, it doesn't work for very long.
So they go 12-5 this year.
I think they step back. They don't have a running game. And so they'll be much more Dak dependent.
They go 11-5 this year.
I'll do 10-7.
You do 10-7.
I don't think they make the playoffs.
They don't make the playoffs.
No, I think they're very thin at receiver and running back. I think they'll be more Dak reliant. I think the NFC the last 2 years has been down. The Packers are ready to go. The Rams are not in a rebuild. Chicago's good. I mean, if Arizona's a 5-win team, that's a good 5-win team. They got like some dudes. They can compete.
They do. They got. So what about Belichick going there next year?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, they would need a strong coach who's defiant, a great architect, a culture builder, and it'll work for about 3 years.
And then what happened?
And then Bill will get him to the highest level. I argue it's about time to move off Dak. Dak's good. You can't pay him great. One thing we know doesn't work in this league, to have a good quarterback that you pay great.
Yeah.
You can win with a rookie quarterback and a rookie deal. You can win with a great quarterback taking a bit of a pay cut. You can't be a B-plus quarterback and get paid A-plus. You're out of the Super Bowl bubble. And I think Bill knows that better than anybody. And I think they'll figure out a way to redraft, re-sign the quarterback position, and pay a quarterback along the lines of that. Either a young guy, little money, or an older guy, more reasonable money.
You don't think are they going to re-up Dak this year, you think?
I don't. I think they're going to let it go, and then they're going to go get a coach, and the coach will sit down with Jerry, and the coach can be the bad guy. Jerry doesn't want to be the bad guy.